This is the color blue. You know what's blue? The sky, the oceans, even the depths of space. But have you ever wondered why blue? Blue is everywhere, yet it's not something you can hold. It's not the color of anything solid that exists naturally. It's the color of infinity. It's the shade we associate with what cannot be contained, with the boundless, the immeasurable. In Hindu thought, blue has a profound symbolic meaning. It represents the infinite, the vastness that eludes anyone's grasp. This is why many depictions of Hindu deities like Krishna and Vishnu show them with blue skin. It isn't simply an artistic choice, but rather a revelation of a deeper truth. Krishna is the ultimate reality, or Brahman manifesting in human form. His blue complexion reminds us that his essence is as infinite as the sky and as immeasurable as the ocean. The sky appears blue because it stretches farther than our eyes can see. The ocean appears blue because its depth hides what lies beneath it. Scientifically speaking, water absorbs color in the red, orange, yellow, and green wavelengths of light more effectively than it absorbs blue wavelengths. The blue light is scattered and reflected back to our eyes, making the ocean look blue. And space, the great expanse, also shifts towards blue before fading to black. Vishnu and Krishna aren't blue because they're painted that way. They're blue because their essence is infinity itself. They're not confined by space, time, or form. Blue is the perfect way to represent something that is both everywhere and nowhere. The Bhagavata Purana, one of the most revered texts in Hinduism, is a Sanskrit scripture that tells us of a moment when this infinite reality revealed itself in the simplest of ways. Little Krishna, mischievous as ever, was accused by his friends of eating mud. His mother Yashoda, furious and loving all at once, demanded he open his mouth. "Let me see," she insisted, and Krishna obliged. What Yashoda saw was not mud, it was the cosmos itself. Inside her little boy's mouth, she saw stars and galaxies spinning endlessly. She saw rivers winding their way across the earth, mountains rising to kiss the skies. She saw all of creation, the past, the present, and the yet to be. She even saw herself sitting there gazing into her son's mouth. In that instant, Yashoda realized the truth that sages have tried to express in words. The infinite resides in the finite. The divine exists within us all, not as something distant or separate, but as the very essence of what we are. But what is this infinity? What does it mean to you, to me, or to this universe? Well, the Chandogya Upanishad offers an answer. It focuses on a dialogue between the sage Uddalaka and his son Shvetaketu. When Shvetaketu returns home after completing his studies, Uddalaka asks him, "What is that, knowing which we know everything else?" Shvetaketu is silent, unsure how to respond. Uddalaka explains, "All that exists comes from one essence. This essence is subtle, invisible, but it is real. You are that." To make this truth clearer, he gives examples. All pots are made of clay, he says. Their forms may differ, but their essence is the same. The clay does not change because it has become a pot. In the same way, though you see differences in the world, everything arises from one essence. He continues, all these rivers flow towards the ocean. Once they reach the ocean, they lose their name and form and are simply called ocean. However, their essence remains unchanged. The river may seem separate, but it is always water. Uddalaka now dissolves salt in water and asks Shvetaketu to taste it. "Can you see the salt?" he asks. "No," Shvetaketu replies, "but I can taste it everywhere." "That is Brahman," Uddalaka says, "invisible but present in all things. You are that." The question that is being examined is why are we not able to perceive the self which is the essence of our being? It is because the self is all-pervasive. The self and I are one and the same. If the self were something separate from me, then I could see it, just as you can see your hand, so you know you're not your hand, or you can see your phone, so you know you aren't the phone. The teaching is simple, yet overwhelming. There is no separation between the self and the infinite. The clay is still clay, the river is still water, and we too are part of the same reality. Keep in mind, though, that this statement should be understood in a figurative sense, not in a literal sense. When you say you have such a deep, direct, intuitive recognition, you are considered as a knower of Brahman. This does not make you omniscient or omnipotent. Interestingly, even modern science grapples with this idea of the infinite when it examines the origins of the universe. Most current scientific theories propose that the origin of the universe is a singularity, a point of infinite density, infinite temperature, and infinitesimal size, a point beyond all conceptions of space and time. This singularity is mathematically indescribable and physically unrealizable, and yet science does not have a reasonable answer to the question of where the singularity came from. It ascribes everything to pure coincidence. What science describes as a singularity is not far from what Hindu philosophy calls Brahman, the infinite, the ultimate reality that is beyond form, space, and time. Just as science struggles to articulate the essence of this singularity, Hindu sages expressed the inexpressible through metaphors. Krishna's blue holds the same truth. In the Bhagavad Gita, he declares, I am the source of all that exists. Everything arises from me. His blue is a reminder of the infinite, the essence of all things. But if blue symbolizes infinity, why not black? After all, space isn't just blue, it's also black, right? Well, here's the difference. Black is absence, it's the void, the nothingness before creation. Blue, on the other hand, is presence. It's the fullness of infinity. It is inviting, not forbidding. It reflects the essence of Vishnu or Krishna. It invites us to explore, to wonder, and to be part of it. Vishnu or Krishna are blue because they don't symbolize absence, they symbolize presence. And how do we connect to this presence of infinity? Well, Krishna gives Arjuna a simple answer in the Bhagavad Gita. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Surrender to me alone, he says. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means recognizing that you are part of something vast and trusting in its flow. The blue of Krishna is a reminder of that vastness and our place within it. Every individual is like a wave in the ocean. The wave appears separate, but it is never apart from the ocean. Similarly, we appear as individuals, but we are not apart from the infinite divine. Next time you look up at the sky or out at the ocean, remember, Krishna isn't just blue for artistic reasons. He's blue because he embodies the infinite. And just like the sky and the sea, the infinite includes you. Ayam Atma Brahma. The self is Brahma. You are infinite too.